All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. So let me kind of introduce who the Henson Group is. So we are a Microsoft Premier CSP. We've been around since 2003. We were started by Greg Henson, who's the next Microsoft seller who recognized the need for services from people that are expert in Microsoft solutions. We've got a unique focus on Microsoft Cloud solutions that includes Modern Workplace, Azure, and all of the things that are in both of those giant buckets. We're an Azure Expert MSP certified by Microsoft in 5 solution areas. Our certification numbers are actually up. We're at like 75 certifications across all of our managed service and professional services architects and engineers. Our customers really love our service. We get consistently 9.9s out of 10 for all of our service delivery, from our support to our managed services. The great thing about us as a partner is we're looking at things holistically and proactively for our customers, especially for our managed services customers, where we own the entire operation for either Azure or, as we'll discuss today, Modern Workplace. We're good at keeping up with all the changes that happen within both of those big platforms. Our teams really focus on a lot on training and upskilling themselves, and that really comes out and shows as we help our customers navigate the complexities of the Microsoft cloud stack. So you can see here's some of our certifications. You can see, top to bottom, we've got lots of Azure certifications and Modern Workplace certifications. Really focus on delivering what we can for our customers around supporting them in the Microsoft Cloud ecosystem. So as I talked through why our Modern Workplace managed services, I think it's important to show what we offer as a value to our customers around Modern Workplace, starting with improved security. So one of the things that we will do in our Modern Workplace is offering monitor and manage all of the Defender solutions that come as part of Modern Workplace. Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, and the new Defender XDR solution that Microsoft has in place. We have really focus on improving your user experience as well, so we can eliminate a lot of the onboarding and offboarding headaches for users as they come into your organization or leave your organization. One of the key areas we focus on is making that a fairly automated process for you and your teams. For your HR team that's got to deal with the offboarding and the onboarding, pulling those new or leaving team members out of or into Entra ID is important, and we do that really well. We resolve 95% of our modern work support cases internally. Our Azure number is a little bit lower than this, but we're really good at resolving any kind of issue you might have with respect to anything going on with Modern Workplace. We'll help optimize your Intune device management. Managing devices at scale is a huge part of the Intune suite, and we strive to implement policies, processes, and procedures to streamline and deliver a really consistent user experience when it comes to getting a new laptop or deprovisioning laptops, reprovisioning a laptop, pushing applications down to your users, providing policies around what users can and can't do on those end devices, and protecting your data for any sort of BYOD scenario you require us to help you with. We'll help optimize your license utilization as well. We'll track all of the license usage. If you find that there are licenses that or we find there's licenses not being assigned to users, or anything that we can do to help scale back licenses, we will help you do that. We'll also make sure that you're taking advantage of all of the services available in licenses. What we see oftentimes is especially on the E5 license levels. People are not taking advantage, don't have the right setup for a lot of the security features that come with those licenses. So that's one of the areas where we'll make sure that you get what you're paying for, as well as ensure you're consuming in the right way and optimizing those licenses for you. And then I think probably one of the most key things that we do as part of our managed services is leverage the AvePoint solution for backup and back up your M365 files. Microsoft does not do this, and I'll get into more here in just a second about what we do around that file protection. But it is a critical piece of using the modern workplace suite that a lot of companies don't consider when they move to the cloud. So our intelligent managed services for M365 includes full administrative support for all of the key areas of that platform. As I said, excuse me, user ID, managing the intra ID administration, Intra Connect. So this used to be Azure Connect or Azure AD Connect rather. So syncing your existing, on-prem environment with Entra ID, we'll help manage that. We'll manage all of Entra ID, manage MFA to ensure that your users are as secure as they can be in the cloud. We'll manage all of Exchange Online. So we'll manage all of the mailboxes. Any kind of an issue you might have with the mailbox, we'll resolve those for you. We'll manage any transport rules you might have, special rules for specific mail types or specific end users or companies you're affiliated with. We'll ensure that transport rules are set up and working. We'll help with mobile devices. So we'll ensure that all of your users that need email on their mobile device have it. If there's any issues, we'll help resolve those. We'll ensure that you've got phishing and spam protection set up on all of your users. It's real important. Email is still the number one vector for any kind of threats into your environment, especially things like phishing scams, as well as just overall bad actors trying to get your users to click on that link and download that malware and do some bad things to your environment. So ensuring your email is protected is of utmost importance to us. We'll help manage Microsoft Teams. Teams is now a beast, from integrated calling to all of the teams and file shares that go along with Teams. We'll help create policies to manage the Teams environment for you. We can help with configuring Teams and making sure that you've got users set up in the right way, and you're effectively using Teams. We'll also help create Teams templates so that if you have any kind of consistent look and feel to your Teams environment, we can help define what that looks like for you and help implement that. SharePoint Online, so we'll manage all of the site collections. We'll help manage OneDrive, the integration between SharePoint and Teams, and any kind of policies around document protection, permissions and things like that. We'll help manage that for you in your environment. Security and data loss prevention. Again, I think this is probably of utmost importance because of all of the key IP data that ends up getting stored in the M365 environment. You want to make sure that you've got your data loss prevention turned on. You've got Defender for Endpoints is managed well. You've got conditional access policies applied at the appropriate levels to the appropriate users and roles within your environment. We'll manage all of Intune for you. We'll help manage devices. We'll set some device policies. If you've got different groups within your organization that have different device policy needs, we'll help segregate those out. We'll help develop any policies you might have a need to define and then distribute amongst your users. We'll help set up autopilot and manage certificates related to autopilot and your end user community. And then M365 file protection. So this is going to be a complete backup and restore of the files stored in SharePoint Online, OneDrive, Teams, and we can do all of the Exchange mailboxes as well. So the reason we do the M365 managed file protection, we leverage the AvePoint software for this, is 90% of the customers don't have any kind of long-term data protection for those files sitting in their M365 environment, be it OneDrive, SharePoint, or Teams. So we want to make sure that we help protect our clients by backing up that data. That gives you peace of mind that, even if somebody accidentally deleted a file, it is going to go into the 90-day sort of soft delete, the recycle bin in SharePoint Online. But oftentimes, sometimes users don't even know they deleted something, and then they go to look for it and realize it's gone and they need it back. And so having this file protection really helps ensure that you've got ongoing backups of those files. A couple of real world examples that we've helped some of our customers through after these things have happened. But we had one customer, a very large enterprise, come to us. They're part of our CSP, and one of their administrators turned off all of the licenses in their environment for SharePoint. So they took all of the SharePoint licenses away. Well, as soon as you do that, anything that was in SharePoint, if you have no licenses assigned to SharePoint, well, Microsoft will just remove all SharePoint access for everyone. And this person did that. They didn't realize that SharePoint was the backup for Teams and all things team related. So they lost probably a terabyte's worth of data because they didn't have this in place. They do now. This is something that we're helping them with, but that to me is a real world example of just something you can't predict, and we want to make sure that since Microsoft is really not backing up your data, someone is, and that's a big responsibility that we undertake for our clients. Our managed services are all backed by pretty strong industry standard SLAs. These are sort of the maximum times that we set for ourselves to do an initial response. And our initial response is not we received a ticket. It is if someone has looked at the ticket, someone has analyzed it, and it's being assigned to an engineer for further investigation and resolution. These, our current initial response times right now are running about 15 to 20 minutes for all of our clients across all segments of our business. And these are just the additional severities that we cover. Severity D is unique to our managed services customers. This is where we'll actually go and provision either a new Azure service or help get things configured for M365 and Modern Workplace. I also want to talk about Copilot Takeoff. So this is a program, if you're interested in deploying or have deployed Copilot in your environment, this engagement that we offer for our clients is I think, a critical step in the successful deployment of Microsoft Copilot 365. And that is because you really need to do all of the things that are identified in this engagement, which is prep your data. If you're not aware, Microsoft Copilot 365 will uncover anything a user has permissions to view. And if you're not paying attention to what they've got access to or don't understand what they've got access to, if they type in, talk to me about my salary, oh, here's a document that has everybody's salary in the company because someone in HR just threw it on an open SharePoint site and didn't realize they shouldn't put it there, not thinking that everybody could have access to it. So the first thing that we do is we run one of the AvePoint tools, Policies and Insights. that allows us to take a look at your environment and go deep into what is being shared with whom. And then we provide some data around that. From that, we'll set up some basic Purview data policies. So we'll help classify some data in Purview and give you, some reporting that's kind of in line with some of the AvePoint reports. The M365 preparation is if you've got external connectors you'd like for us to set up, we can do that for you as well. Copilot now offers integration with things like ServiceNow, Box, Dropbox, any number of third-party file share services, either in the cloud or on-prem. We'll ensure that licenses are also assigned to the users, and you get the right license levels for all of the users. That's required as part of a prerequisite for Copilot. And then I think, the final part and truly the most critical if you want to be successful with a rollout of Copilot, and that is training. We'll go in depth here in a second on what we do with the training, but training your employees and resources on how to leverage Copilot successfully, understanding what the limitations are, understanding how well they can leverage it for their daily task is hugely important for being successful and taking the investment that's fairly considerable and turning it into a worthwhile return on your investment. So when we do the Copilot file analysis, what we'll do is we'll go in and look at different aspects of your environment. We'll look at, for instance, in SharePoint, these are actual results from an analysis we did with one of our customers. They had 90 of 129 sites were shared with everyone, which was a bit of a surprise to them. They thought things were more locked down in their environment. Probably the biggest thing we uncovered for them was the fact that 445 OneDrives had the everyone except external users permission assigned to them at the root level. So unbeknownst to them, they had quite a bit of oversharing turned on just through this one setting set up in SharePoint they weren't aware of. We'll take a look at sensitive data files. So we've got a collection of kind of keywords that we look at: salary, reviews, personnel files, SEC list filings and things like that, that we'll actually intentionally go look for in your environment to make sure that if any of those are out there, they are have the appropriate shared permissions. And if they don't, we highlight those back to you. We'll also do an in-depth look at all of the teams. Anything that's got 5 or more members, we'll identify. Anything with less than 5, we'll identify. That allows you to kind of help clean up your team's environment as well. So, we get a lot of, and we have this internally here at the Henson Group too, where people think, oh, I want to create a team. And so they'll create a team and nobody really ever uses that team. So it's always good to kind of take a look at what you've got as far as your team landscape and make sure that it's in line with what you really want to consume in teams. Our Copilot training, again, I think this is super important to be successful within a Copilot deployment. We start off with just a basic agenda of here is how you construct a prompt. When you do prompt engineering within Copilot, there's a pretty good formula that we recommend people follow, and we go through all of that. And then we look at personas and different personas within your organization. So someone who's a project manager versus an administrative assistant, how they can leverage Copilot in their everyday task. Help define what they can and cannot do within the Copilot offering. There are a lot of people that want to be able to do a lot more with Copilot, and it's got its limitations. So we help provide the right kind of context for people to be successful with Copilot. And, our training programs for our Copilot takeoff program can be customized to anything that your organization needs specifically. So happy to accommodate anything around that. And that will do it for our presentation for today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to come off of mute and ask away. We'll sit here for a few minutes and take any kind of questions you might have for today.
Nice job, Chris.
Thank you, Bobby. All right. Well, doesn't look like anybody has a question. So I appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about any of our services or you've got something going on in your environment, not quite sure what to do with. Happy to always help with that.